I'm here in Terezin, a concentration camp just on the outskirts of Prague, where over 130,000 Jews were deported and met their deaths, 30,000 of whom died in this very place. An additional 87,000 Jews were brought here and transported on to Auschwitz, Birkenau, Dachau, and many other places. Here is a tragic cemetery of over 1,000 Jews that were liberated, but never got to see the free world. Before they were able to make it out, they died here from starvation, malnutrition, and disease. But in our history, against the backdrop of true darkness, of true destruction, we have always found a way to bring light, emunah, and hope. And in this concentration camp, here in Terezin, behind this craftsman's shed, a discovery was made 15 years ago, where Asher Berlinger, who was sent to his death in Auschwitz in 1944, built a synagogue in hiding, at risk of death. And if you look inside this synagogue, you will find unbelievable things. Here on the walls, you see V'sechazena eineinu b'shuvacha l'tzion b'rachamim. The hope, the prayer that Jews have said for thousands of years, of hoping for a rebuilt Jerusalem. But perhaps the most shocking of all is here, where on the wall it's inscribed, Uv'chol zois shimcha lo shachachnu. With all that has transpired to us, we have not forgotten you, Hashem. Here in the place of death and destruction, Jews gathered with hope, with a ray of light, with emunah, holding on to that belief that some of us would make it out and that the Jewish people would live on. On June 16, 1942, a train arrived here in this camp from Cologne in Germany. On it was a couple, Simon and his wife, Eva. But before long, were dead. By the 27th of June and the 19th of August, both were no longer alive. Their entire families were wiped out. They had a son that had made it to the UK just before the war and built a family. They had 3 children, Michael, Daniel, and Ruth. Ruth went on to build a Jewish home, and through growth and learning reconnected with her past. And at their eldest son, as he made his bar mitzvah of Ruth's first grandchild in 2019, just before COVID, over 100 offspring from the respective 2 families were in the room. That backdrop of absolutely giving up, of challenge, of thinking there is no hope. From this very camp, over 100 offspring came from that one survivor. And I know that because my mother, Ruth, was at my son's bar mitzvah there in 2019. And as we stand here at the site of where my great-grandparents met their death, we must know and remember this mixed emotion of feeling of tragedy, of persecution, and of the knowledge that so many people lost their lives in vain. And imagine if those people all would have survived, how many more Jews there would be today. But equally, Eitz Chaim hi lamachazikim ba. The Torah is a tree of life. And like a tree, if all you have is one seed, we can rebuild, and we do. Hashem does not forget us. No'al tishkachenu, as Asher Berlinger said, please do not forsake us. For thousands of years we have not been forsaken. We get up against all the odds, we rise again by holding on to that tree of life, by believing that Netzach Yisrael lo yashaker, the promise that Hashem made thousands of years ago to our forefathers, that against all the odds, we will live on. And that, against the backdrop of darkness, is the message from this place.